So leadership is both a science and an art. May it be leading a group of panday, just like in our first segment, or doctors, sales ladies, or group of teachers. It encompasses the ability to empower a diverse team and create an inclusive culture that provides supportive energy and commitment so everyone can contribute their best. Best will mean it includes the well-being of people, the positive growth of people and the business. Put simply, the collective mindset of an organization shapes its culture and performance. It's about the life-affirming leadership practices, or we put it as makatao. We can have meaningful conversations around this with our guest speaker today. She is an associate professor at the psychology department of the Ateneo de Manila University. She is also the executive director of the Ateneo Center for Organization Research and Development. She has over 20 years of practice in different areas of human resources management and organization development, including consulting work with the Department of Foreign Affairs, ABS-CBN Corporation, and Coca-Cola Export Corporation, among others. She has published in international and local journals and has also co-edited HRM, OD, and leadership books. Joy has a PhD in social organizational psychology from the Ateneo de Manila University, where she also obtained her master's degree. So help me welcome Mendiola Teng Calleja, or we fondly call her Joy.
Hi, good afternoon, Jack. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really glad to be part of People Manager on CAM.
Yeah, very much a warm welcome to you, Joy, and we are very much happy to have you today. So I would like to give my first question, Joy. So how does science-based leadership look like for you?
Jack, for me, it's two things. No, one is making decisions, based on data. So leaders, as we know, make tough decisions, and they need data to effectively do that. No? Although, syempre, intuition, common sense, gut feel may also be valid. Data coming from, the ground, no, the employees, the different stakeholders, allow us to make decisions that are relevant and that would have, greater likelihood to give the results also that we want, no? And then second, no, considering what previous research also tells us, di ba, there are many reputable sources from the net, white papers, journal articles, etc. So it won't hurt to, browse through those and just see what social science or management literature can tell us about the issue at hand. No, so doing those, no, will really demonstrate science-based leadership.
Oh, wow, thank you so much, Joy. Yes, indeed, I can really resonate well with you that if we really hear uh, the voices of our people, we leaders as well will really be guided in our decisions and what impact we are creating to them, the people that we are leading to. So for my next question, Joy, with your rich experiences and research, as I mentioned to you yesterday, binabasa lang kita before, no? So, and I'm very glad that I am here with you now and having conversations with you now, no? So, with your rich experiences and research,
Thank
what
you.
thoughts you can share with our leaders in our country today in bridging science and practice?
Siguro yung two things that I mentioned earlier, no? Enable data-based or evidence-based decision making and consider what existing literature tells us. I think leaders talaga need to create that mindset and competence, no, within themselves and in the other members of their team. No? Create that kind of culture and also set up systems and structures that will support it. For example, alam mo, Jack, we are now conducting Ateneo CORD's course on the fundamentals of data-driven HR. And we learned that many organizations are setting up their data analytics team. O di ba nakakatuwa? There are finance people, economists that are now working with those with psychology, behavioral science backgrounds, no? To jumpstart their HR analytics. So isn't that beautiful, di ba? Ang ganda nung ganong synergy. And we know also that most literature, lalo na on organizations in HR, come from weird societies, no? Western, educated, industrialized, rich and democratic societies. So kami sa CORD and other academics have been advocating and working on building local knowledge, no? But we need the help of industry, no? So I hope that industry participates in our studies, no, to partner with us on this. We're very happy that some organizations, for example, now tap us, no, Ateneo CORD, for mental health assessment in their organization so that they can craft mental health policies and strategies that are relevant to their employees. Also, ito lang, no, last Friday, I was talking to people from representative, no, from a BPO, and they asked for our help in using our tool to measure quality of life, no, among their employees, and to translate that data in determining living wage, no, that promotes a quality of life, yung magandang buhay for their employees and their families. So those kinds of partnerships sana will really show, no, a good partnership, or a good partnership between academics, industry, and academe, no, for the benefit of our employees.
Wow, congratulations for that, Joy. No, it's really very exciting to hear that we are now starting to build our own evidences
Mm.
in our Filipino society, our Filipino culture, and for the Filipino leaders as well. And it also creates a healthy well-being, or a healthy and wellness also of the leaders, because they are also guided well in their decisions based on
Mm.
these facts or based on these evidences. So apart from that, Joy, it seems like it is now a trend, no, that we really need to base on these evidences in terms of leading
Mm.
people. So aside from that, what else could be trends kaya on Filipino leadership practices that you can share with us that are meaningfully impacting health and well-being, not just of their employees, not just of their teams, as well as of the leaders?
Yeah. So right now we all know, no, the difficulties, the challenges that we've faced because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and much of the leader's role, no, during periods of crisis really involves crisis management and yung actions natin to reduce the negative impact of this. In the early part of the pandemic, CORD conducted a study, no, that gathered employees' perceived traits and behaviors of an effective leader during crisis. And we saw three things, no, three themes that emerged from our analysis. So una is attending to the person of the employee, so taking care of their, syempre, di ba, well-being, and making sure that they're supported. And then also taking charge and showing the way forward, no, providing that guidance, as well as sustaining the spirit. So almost half, no, of the responses really pertain to the perceived traits of being compassionate, caring, and how these were demonstrated through supportive leader behaviors. So these are, according to our participants, as what's most important. So they, in describing their leaders, no, participants shared how compassion was evident, and that the leader's action showed how they regarded their most valuable resource. So of course, the people in the organization. So there are also expressions of empathy, concern, di ba? All of these things, when our leader provides us with this, di ba? Talaga naman, it contributes really to our wellness, no? It contributes to our mental health as employees, no? In another study, though, that looked at emotional experiences of middle managers during COVID, and this is a masteral thesis of one of my advisees, no, si Miss Erica Rivera. So yung feelings of anxiety, fear, as well as pride, no, yung positive side din, in being able to transition, adapt work to COVID, lahat to shared by both the employees and the leaders, no, the team members and the leaders. Kaya lang, there's extra pressure, no, for the leaders to appear in control in front of their team members. No, I'm sure you can relate to that, no, Jack? Parang we need to sort of show others, we provide as anchor to others, no? So we want to show others that we're in control and that we can manage the situation. Pero deep inside, we're also scared and anxious, right? So it's really emotional labor. And I think that's something that we leaders need to be aware of. That we also need to take care of ourselves as we take care of others, no? Otherwise, kasi our energy, our passion may get depleted and we cannot pour from an empty cup, no? So we take care of others' well-being. We also, no, ensure self-care.
Wow. Wow, these are really beautiful, Joy, no? That we need to be, when we exercise being compassionate to others, we need to be compassionate to ourselves. And how does it look like? We need to really manage our energy. We need to manage how we are going to regulate as well ourselves, no? So that we will not be drained, no? So, and of course,
Mm.
exercise or the practice of care, not just caring for others para hindi tayo mauubos, we need also to care for ourselves, like
True.
putting healthy boundaries, no? Kasi tao yung mga leaders.
Yeah.
So, so hindi dapat
Oo, totoo.
so hindi dapat nauubos sila, no? So I just would like to say hi to Rhea, no? Rosas Gadi, she's saying hi to us, to you, Joy, and also from Gyrex, no? Thank you so much for watching us from Qatar, no? So going back to my, I think this will be my last question, Joy, no? So as a leader yourself, so you were saying about taking care of yourself, no? So being compassionate also of yourself and taking care of yourself. So as a leader yourself, Joy, can you share with us how do you deal with difficult situations or people who are difficult to work with?
Um, well, Jack, it varies, no? Kasi, for example, if the difficulty is expressed, no, or the nature of the difficulty is non-performance, diba? That's something else. Usually, here in court, for example, we make sure that we craft an individual development plan with the person, we follow through, no, and I've had two instances, no, that has been experienced, and then eventually, no, one of them, parang it's person job fit, so you try to also manage that. Another difficult situation, no, related to well-being would be managing talaga work-life balance. It's a challenge, especially since we have a high accountability, results-oriented culture, no? So, well, we're still navigating that difficulty, that challenge. But right now, no, we're engaging in an employee well-being and mental health assessment, no, and then we'll sort of consolidate our policies, current policies, and improve, no, our policies and strategies, no. Personally, I think that we have kasi certain structures and systems already. We have the law that guides us, right? It actually mandates us, no, to have mental health policies and strategies, no, in our organizations. And I think personally as a leader, no, if we just abide by that, no, and be creative and make sure that it's applicable and relevant to our employees and applicable and relevant to us also, then we as leaders are not just taking care of the mental health and well-being of the people in the organization. Kasama tayo doon. These policies, these guidelines, these programs also apply to us, no? So if we will just advocate, no, for these things, we can also take care of ourselves as leaders. One thing that's also helpful, I'm sure you've heard about mindfulness, no? Our center here in the Ateneo, our sister center, the Bulatao Center for Psychological Services, is one of the advocates of mindfulness, no? And it's really just paying attention in the present moment, and it enhances our self-awareness, allows us to manage our thoughts, emotions, yung stress, di ba? So it really improves our well-being. So I hope that leaders will also try to maximize and use mindfulness, no, in managing their wellness or improving on their wellness.
Wow, thank you so much, Joy. Si Rhea may tanong, but I think you have already expressed that, no? Yung sinabi niya, ano ba yung most critical skill a leader must have to support their team's mental health? And I think you have mentioned about being mindful or practicing that mindfulness.
Mhm.
Or is there any critical skill that you would like to mention or share for us?
Yeah, oo. Kasi, uh, and this is very strong in HR, no? Really looking at, and I think Buboy also mentioned this, treating your employees as human beings, as people, no? And
Wow.
making sure that we give them that attention. No, in Ateneo we call it pura personalis. No, and you understand the person as yung uniqueness niya, yung capacity niya, and you really try, no, to provide that environment, all those opportunities that will help that person grow. Okay? Sabi ko nga, para rin what we learned in kindergarten, how you want yourself to be treated, you treat others that way. 'Di ba? So I think that's an important competence, no, amongst leaders. That we
Yeah.
develop that kind of attitude, those values actually, and how to implement that, no, through actual programs and dealings, interactions with others.
Wow. It's not easy really to be a leader. Thank you, Joy. No? So it's really both a science and an art. All right. So thank you so much, Joy, for this very short and sweet and really wonderful conversations today. Going back to you, Joanne.